Why hello there everyone, it is I, Gray here, and today I'm going to be giving the long-awaited second half to the Brothers in Arms Gaming and GoldenHydra YT93's Custom Power Miners Combo Collab. Whew, that's a mouthful. So, hopefully you guys have seen or checked out the first video in the series, and if you haven't, the link is in the description below. Basically, this was originally going to be recorded by GoldenHydra. I was going to review his model, he was going to review mine, but sadly, he has not been able to do it up until now, so I am going ahead and giving the people what they want. So, first things first, why do this in the first place? Well, LEGO Power Miners is one of my favorite themes, and it's just a theme near and dear to my heart. I grew up around the time Power Miners was releasing, and although I was too young at the time to truly appreciate the sets as they were coming out, man did I want them as soon as I was old enough to comprehend. Now that I'm able to afford it, I've just become very learned of Power Miners and of their combo and alternate models. And of their alternate models and combo models, there are some real hits, but there's also a couple misses. I'm looking at you, Cave Cutter and Arrow Shredder. And on that note, the Cave Cutter is the one that GoldenHydra and I decided we were going to tackle and see if surely there was a better way to do it than what LEGO gave us. We're here to show you guys today what those pieces could have been instead used for. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Cavern Crosser. So, this little thing is quite interesting. It has a very unique profile for just a Power Miners vehicle in general. There's nothing else quite like this. I mean, the Mine Mech is probably somewhat comparable, just due to this also being a somewhat mech-away kind of vehicle. And I guess there's also that one third wave Power Miner set. It's like the little fire truck. Completely forgot the name of it. But it also has a similar cockpit design. But yeah, overall, very unique profile. It has 4 individually articulating legs, allowing for unique posing and movement, especially over rough and hilly terrain, which is, you know, its namesake after all. So you'd hope it would be able to. Up at the front, it has some areas to store basic tools like pickaxes, hammers, and whatnot. And then it has additional kind of clips here for gems or whatever needed resources on the side. It presumably has some form of kind of engine right back here. This ring thing probably contributing to that in some capacity. And this little caution light, of course, to, well, just do what caution lights do best. Now, coming over to the cockpit, it doesn't seem like there's not really any real controls, but you can use your imagination. There's probably some form of display in universe going on the inside of this bar here. And then these little antennas are being used as like extra structural reinforcement for the roll cage, which I guess, yeah, leaves us to the bottom, where, quite interesting here, we have like a little piece of dynamite stuck in. And yes, this could just be dynamite storage. However, what I like to imagine is, as this thing is crawling around, using its legs, I believe it's able to crawl up on walls in order to kind of cross over caverns and, you know, maybe even climb along ceilings, possibly. I don't know, that might be too big of a stretch. And it can plant a piece of dynamite in there and then walk away and then remote detonate the thing, causing controlled cave-ins or, you know, perhaps, yeah, either sealing a tunnel or maybe creating a walkway through rubble over a cavern that was previously uncrossable. So yeah, or maybe even just creating a diversion. It's up to your imagination and interpretation. So, one thing that you might be wondering is, okay, so this is a Power Miners vehicle, right? You look at every single Power Miners vehicle, there's almost always a gimmick with each one of them, right? And yes, generally there is a gimmick. However, certain vehicles like the Rebel Rescue Rover or the previously mentioned little fire truck vehicle don't exactly have one. And this vehicle is kind of in that camp, where it doesn't have a direct or clear play feature, but I think it more than makes up for it with its unique design and utility, acting as a scout vehicle in previously inaccessible areas of the caves. Even with the Arrow Shredder, that thing is big and bulky and still needs a sizable runway and or opening to fly through, where this thing can just climb over walls and rubble or get into tighter spaces in order to scout ahead or maybe plant a perfectly placed explosive. Now, the one thing that kind of takes away from this illusion is the roundness of the claws here, and yes, ideally these would be sharper in order to hook into the rock of the cave walls, but quite frankly, working with the pieces I had here, it's really the best you can do to get this. If I would have had 2 pickaxes, I could have done something, but between the two sets, you only get 1, so I think this is the best that we can do to get a vehicle like this with the pieces we have. And yeah, as far as extra pieces go, we got these right up here, and honestly, it's really hard to try and incorporate these pieces onto this build in a way that looks nice. So I feel like this vehicle really used the pieces to the best of its ability. Maybe I could have figured out a way to get this piece or this piece on, but really with the pieces I had in this set, I think this vehicle is pretty smooth and pretty well rounded and just kind of well designed from just about every angle, to where there's not exactly an area that I'd say entirely needs improved. Now, coming up to the front, the only issue that there is with this vehicle is it comes with the cockpit. So as you'll see here, if I have him sitting, it's ever so slightly trying to separate from the vehicle, and that's because of these hooks here colliding with the helmet. So technically you gotta take the helmet off in order for it to be a legal building technique. But if you just want to leave them on, it's a very slight difference that no one will notice. Additionally, if I push it all the way up, you'll notice he starts to eject from the seat, which happens to be how, you get the driver in and out, or pilot. But yeah, all in all, I think this is a pretty solid vehicle, despite how unusual it is. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I had a lot of fun during this collab, and hopefully, if I can get in touch with GoldenHydra again, we can do another collaboration, perhaps tackling the Arrow Shredder next time. But with that all said, thank you all so much for watching. Definitely check out the other video in this collab if you haven't already, and please have yourselves good nights.